Hey everyone, it's Silva, and today I'm at Presumpscot River Trail. It's a 4-mile trail, I think, out and back, so not too long. It's really easy trail. I'm glad I brought my spikes. At the beginning of the trail, I thought I almost left them in the car when I was looking at the beginning of the trail, but it's all ice, so good thing I have them. I'm excited today's video. There's probably not going to be a lot of views, but I'm going to be filming and letting you know my 2020 plans and when I'm returning to the AT, so stay tuned. Alright, so I cut across the woods a bit because the trail, well, it's been just like a sheet of ice the whole time, which is fine because I have micro spikes, but it went like kind of downhill and then there was a little drop off, so I decided I didn't want to test it. You know, I don't feel like going swimming. So, or falling on my butt or cracking my head. So I went through the woods, and I'm almost back to the trail, I think. And then I'll start giving you an update. Alright, so this video that I'm doing now and my next video are kind of inspired by my boss, Kendra. Thanks so much for the idea, Kendra. She likes to knit. She does a lot of knitting, and she said knitters have something called Make 9, where they pick 9 projects they want to knit. So she thought it would be cool if I changed that into like a hiking theme. So I am going to do a Hike 9 video, which will be my next video. This one is going to be like backpacking 6 and an Appalachian Trail update. So stay tuned to the end for the update. But in the meantime, after I get down this sketchy icy hill, which I was trying to avoid, I will tell you the 6 backpacking trips I have planned for this year. Alright, so the first backpacking trip I'm going to tell you about, it's not necessarily the first one I'm going to go on of the season, but it might be. It's in Vermont, and it is Stratton Pond to Bjorn Pond, and that's in the Green Mountains. It's 22.5 miles. Part of it is on the long trail. I haven't even hiked in Vermont, so I'm pretty excited about that trip. Likely to be later in June. Not 100% sure the dates yet, but that's what I'm thinking. The second trail that I want to tell you about that I wanted to backpack, we have done part of it as a day hike. It's the Cutler Coast in Maine. It's an 11-mile trail, so it's not necessarily, it could be a day hike. The issue is it takes so long to drive there that by the time you drive there and hike 11 miles and try and drive home, it's just too much for one day. So I'll link the video I did with Matt here for the Cutler Coast, Bull Coast. It's beautiful, so I think I'm going to do it as a 2-day backpacking trip. That may be the first one too. It's between that one and the one in Vermont, because I might do this one towards the end of May. We'll see. So this trail is really pretty, and I wasn't in the woods long. I got back to like a side trail, and then I went to a main trail. But it's so icy. There's no ice on this bridge. Like everywhere I want to go, it's like a sheet of ice. I do have spikes on, but still, it's a little like, yikes. There's some waterfalls I was trying to find, but I don't think I'm gonna risk it. I think I'm going this way, which still looks terrible. So backpacking trip number 3, again in no particular order, is the Grafton Loop Trail, which I have done in the past. I spread it over 2 sections. I've done the western and the eastern. This time my plan is to be in really good shape and to do it in one loop. It's not that many miles. It's about 40 miles. I'll link my previous videos here. So there's 2 for the eastern and 2 for the western. So I'll link those here. It's just pretty rugged terrain, so it did take me a while. This time I plan to do it in probably 4 days. That's my goal. But that one I'm excited about to redo because some of the sites were sucked in, and I'll get to see those again, and it's really a beautiful trail. Part of it is on the Appalachian Trail as well, so that's nice. It's an added bonus. All right, backpacking trip number 4 is the Peme Loop in the White Mountains of New Hampshire. This is about a 30-mile loop, and it hits 8 of the 4,000 footers in New Hampshire. Some of them I have already hiked, but others are on my list to hike, so this will knock off quite a few. I have already hiked Garfield. I'll link that here. Lafayette, Lincoln here, and the Liberty, Liberty. We didn't get to the flume that day. Mount Liberty I'll link here because it was really too wet and slippery to do the flume part. So that is going to be a very difficult backpacking trip as far as I'm concerned, at least for me. I know people can do it in a day, and that's fantastic, but that's not me. So, looks like snow on the camera, but it is a sheet of ice. What a beautiful day. 45 degrees here in Maine. I just saw a bald eagle. That was so cool. I don't think I got it in the camera, but amazing. All right, so on the Peme Loop, there are 4 of the 4,000 footers that I haven't hit yet. South Twin, Bond, and Bond Cliff, and the Flume, which I had missed on my Mount Liberty trip. So those 4 I'll get to add to my list and check them off that I've done, so I'm looking forward to that. Next up on my list is the Presidential Traverse. It's anywhere between 19 and 23 miles, depending on how you do it, I guess. So that hits 7 of the 4,000 footers in the White Mountains, most of the Presidentials. So, all right, so I know that it hits Madison, Adams, Jefferson, Washington, Monroe, Eisenhower, and Pierce. If you do the full traverse, then it adds 4 additional. I think it's Webster, Jackson, Clay, and Franklin. I'm not sure which one I'm doing yet. It will depend on timing and things, and just how hard it is, because I know the Presidential Traverse is hard, but I'm looking forward to it. All right, and number 6, which I'm so excited about, and I will probably do it either, I'm thinking September, is the Cohos Trail, and it is a thru hike. It's a 170-mile thru hike. It starts in Crawford Notch and goes up to the Canadian border, and I am so excited about it. The plan is 2 weeks, so 170 miles thru hike of the Cohos Trail is my big one. So I'm doing it later in the season so I can get in really good shape and not have any issues. All right, I know the big question coming up: when am I returning to the Appalachian Trail? All right, everyone, so I am excited to tell you that I will be returning to the Appalachian Trail in 2023. I had originally wanted to return this year, but I am using this year to save. We're paying some stuff off, so we'll have less bills. It'll be less stressful monetarily. I'll be in better shape, because you can see by all the backpacking trips I'm planning and the upcoming hiking trips that I'll tell you about. I'll be in really good shape. I'm using this year to dial in my gear even more. My gear worked great on the trail, but I want to lighten my load. So I'm going to be researching and trying out new gear this season. I want to lighten my tent and my sleeping bag. So those are all things I'm going to be dialing in. I'm going to be researching some plant-based protein powders, because as you know, I had trouble eating when I was on the Appalachian Trail. And so if I can find some good protein powders to add to my water and things like that, that'll help with my energy levels. So I'm using this year to get in an amazing shape, hopefully, and to hit the trail in probably late March of 2023. Now the question is, will I start where I ended after 657 miles, or will I start over at the beginning? Only time will tell. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for following along. Hope you're all having a great week. If you haven't already subscribed, I'd appreciate it if you did. Please keep following along. I do have my Cohouse Trail through hike this year, multiple backpacking trips, and multiple gear reviews as I dial in my gear even more and lighten my pack so I can return to the AT in 2023.